Phil. Well, good evening. We are excited to be here, and we have kept our excitement going through this entire very interesting hearing. My name is Nicholas Redding. I am the Executive Director of Preservation Maryland, and in the absence of our bill sponsor, Adrian Jones, I'll be introducing HB1513, which is a bill that will set a base level of funding for the state's historic preservation grant programs. So we provided written testimony, and we have advocates here who will be providing oral testimony, and they also provided written testimony. And this issue was also documented by a JCR report that was published this past fall. And effectively what the report found was that over the past about 7 fiscal years, the state has provided $0 in grant funding to our state's historic preservation grant programs. So we used to have a capital grant program. We used to have a non-capital grant program, which would go towards survey and research, basically documenting historic resources and creating national register districts, which is the first step towards allowing those places to benefit from tax credits and other components of the state's revitalization programs. And then we also used to have a museum grant program. And the JCR report identified all of those, and we have included an executive summary of that and actually sent that out to every member of the General Assembly as well. And what that report found is that we obviously are falling behind, and we're falling behind our peers in other states here in the Mid-Atlantic. And so Delegate Jones' bill would set a base funding level for historic preservation grants at $1.5 million. And so that would be divided on an as-needed basis between those 3 programs that I described. And we think that it is wholly appropriate and prudent and logical that a state would invest in its historic resources. This is a bill that would impact every single legislative district across the state. It is not a partisan bill in the sense that history is not partisan. It does not follow partisan boundary lines, and so it will impact every county, every district, red or blue. And so we asked for a favorable report, and we were also joined by a third advocate, and I'm going to introduce the advocates who will be speaking here, who was Robert Clark, who is the president of Historic Annapolis, and unfortunately he had to leave. But if you seek his testimony on the way home tonight, look around you, because that is Annapolis, and that was what he was going to speak on. I am joined by Marvin Pinkert, who is the Executive Director of the Jewish Museum of Maryland, and I am also joined by Zuni Miller-Matima, who is a board member on Tolson's Chapel, which is in Washington County, in Sharpsburg, and is the site of a Freedmen's Bureau school from the late 1860s, and which has been recently restored. And they're going to both speak to you just sort of about the value of these programs and what this funding could mean to their work. And obviously they're emblematic and indicative of countless organizations like them all around the state. So I'm going to turn it over to Zuni if you want to give your testimony.
Yes, my name is Zuni Miller-Matima, and I am very proud to be here and honored to represent Tolson's Chapel in Sharpsburg, Maryland. We're very proud of Western Maryland and the historic cultural treasures that are there. Of course, foremost would be Tolson, because that's why I'm here. It is an example of a rural African-American church which served, as you were just told, as a Freedmen's Bureau school and a county colored school. It does have stories of courage and struggle to tell. Receiving additional grant monies would allow the interpretation of the brick, church pews, oil lamps, and cast iron wood and coal stove to be told. The story of how the newly freed community and revealed their lives with the chapel building must be told. We have preserved the structure that held the dreams and visions of a community just 3 minutes outside of the Antietam battlefield, and now desire to tell an ever-widening audience the stories held within the walls and cemetery grounds. We do this through our website, educational activities, and hopefully one day National Historic Landmark designation. And here's an example of those kinds of stories. On an April morning in 1868, 18 young African Americans filed into the church as students to begin their lessons in a newly established American Union school. Their teacher was named Ezra Johnson. He was provided by the Freedmen's Bureau and funded by the local African American community. 12 of those children had only been enslaved 4 years ago. That was before Maryland abolished slavery in 1864. A Sharpsburg African-American couple donated the land on which the Church of Tolson's chapel was built. If we are granted additional funding, the human stories behind these lives could be taken into the schools, informing the children of Western Maryland, an example of what heart, soul, and determination can achieve. We envision joint tourist visions connecting the battlefield of Antietam with the triumph of those who built Tolson's chapel, as well as creating an array of educational films, discussions, and presentations. The story of the freedmen must be told, and I come from that with a very strong family sense of what this means. My great-great-grandfather was one who opened the schools and churches to the African-American communities so that they could determine their own religious guidance. And because of that, I really can appreciate Tolson stepping into that light and being one of those schools from the United Methodist religion who actually benefited from it, took the leadership in it. And here's the point. Tolson's is American history. And it happened in Washington County. And we would like that to be honored.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, I'm Martin Pinkert. I'm here representing not only the Jewish Museum of Maryland, but also the Greater Baltimore History Alliance, of which I am the president. It occurs to me that if Maryland's shoreline was eroding, the state would take action. If crabs were disappearing from the Chesapeake, the state would take action. It would be obvious that Maryland could not afford to lose the unique assets that make us Maryland. Assets that not only serve the residents of this state, but attract tourist revenues to the state as well. I want to make the case that museums and history sites are another distinguishing feature of the state of Maryland. Today I'd like you to think of museums not just for our role in educating thousands of school children, not just for what we do to build civic consciousness, and not just for what we do to build an appreciation of a multicultural society, but as enterprises that harvest Maryland's past to generate investment and jobs. This legislature, wisely in my opinion, decided against creating a single grand structure to embrace all of Maryland's history. Instead, through the Maryland Historic Trust, it has in the past supported a diverse community of museums across every part of the state, creating a seedbed for a thriving heritage tourism industry. Like so much of our infrastructure, that seedbed needs to be replenished. At the Jewish Museum of Maryland, we've been successful in raising project money from private and federal sources for exhibits ranging from the life and music of Paul Simon to the history of the Jews in medicine, and this summer, Maryland Jewish weddings, and this Sunday, we open up the Auschwitz exhibit, and I invite all of you to come. That's over $1.5 million in the last 2 years. This is an engine for Maryland tourism and Maryland jobs. But to continue to bring this level of raised funds for projects to the table, we need to be able to maintain our historic structures, support base operations, and plan for capital expansion. These core activities are absolutely critical, but much more difficult to underwrite. The restoration of funding for MHT will enable Maryland's historical sites and museums to thrive.
Any questions? Okay, thank you very much. We have written an unfavorable from DBM. All right, we're going to move to the last bill of the day, I believe, House Bill 1503. 1503. Okay. Yeah. Do you have anybody you want to bring up?
Oh, no, Madam Chair.
They left, right?
I left them all at home.
Okay.
I knew we would have a long agenda.